The July jobs report shows about twice as many jobs as expected, with more than 500,000 added. Nearly 20%, 96,000, were added to leisure and hospitality. Some of the sectors with smaller increases include 22,000 jobs in retail and 21,000 jobs in transportation. That large increase in jobs may seem promising on its face, yet what does it mean for the economy and the threat of a looming recession? WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie spoke with economists to get their take, as well as local shoppers. Laura?
Deb, between rising prices and wages that are not keeping up with inflation, a lot of people feel like we are already in a recession. But economists I talked to said today's strong jobs report shows that the economy is actually growing, not shrinking. Garner shopper Paul Bischler says he thinks the economy is in a recession.
Based on the prices I see in the grocery store, the gasoline prices, the mortgage rates now, and they affect me both with gasoline and food, as you can see, and 2 negative quarters of negative growth.
But UNC Keenan-Flagler chief economist Gerald Cohen says 2 negative quarters is not enough to offset the latest job report.
I don't think it will be called a recession, and I don't believe it's a recession. This suggests that the economy is growing again in Q3.
Cohen says the job market has now surpassed its pre-pandemic high, and unemployment has fallen to its pre-pandemic low.
Not only did we see this healthy jobs number of 528,000, but previous months were revised up. Again, if we were going into recession, if the economy were slowing, you would see the revisions to be downward.
I believe that's completely true. I mean, if you go around, there's help wanted signs everywhere. So I believe that on the job front.
Do you feel like we're in a recession?
No, I don't think we are, actually.
I asked NC State economist Mike Walden, if we're not in a recession, why do we keep talking about one?
Well, obviously, everything gets politicized now. And of course, the administration wants to say we're not in a recession. And I actually would agree with them right now. Opponents of the administration want to say, well, we've got this rule of thumb, 2 consecutive quarters negative GDP. So we're in a recession. And so that's the political angle.
Walden thinks inflation is pushing some people back into the job market, which could help ease the labor shortage.
The one downside is I think this gives more ammunition for the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates.
Right, because the whole point of raising interest rates was to try to slow down growth.
Exactly. Right? And if anything, we're speeding things up, at least by this metric.
Now, Walden shared a little bit more good news with me today. He says he thinks inflation has already peaked and should be slowing down some by now. Unfortunately, today's labor report shows that, labor shortage or not, wages are still not growing fast enough to keep up with it. Deb?
Yeah, we'll just have to keep waiting and watching. Laura, thank you.